Hey Tammy, how are you doing?
Hi, Siddharth. I'm great, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, and as usual, I look forward to knowing your thoughts, especially on the Dubai versus Joburg nightlife, on the culture, the clubs, and cost of. Okay, my first question to you is, how do the cultural restrictions in Dubai impact its nightlife compared to the more liberal scene in Johannesburg?
In Dubai, it's yes, they have very strict, I would say, cultural norms. Like if there's a holiday, a public holiday, they call it a bank holiday. There's no alcohol served at all, be it in a restaurant, in a bar, or whatever. According to the nightlife, we have like two extremes. So you can walk into a nightclub like Lock, Stock and Barrel or Rock Bottom. There is no entrance fee, but because of the alcohol tax, alcohol is super expensive. So very rarely would you find somebody like really plastered drunk, and it's a very nice, mature-ish crowd. And the I would say you get to the other extreme is the very high class clubs that you get with the likes of the Cavalli Club. You pay something like 3,000 dirhams, which
Wow.
equates to 15,000 rand. Yes, so that is just like the entrance fee, like the cigar lounges, etc. So it's like for the super elite. And then you get, I've been to one of the super elite clubs called Zuma, and that was like on a class of its own. You got almost like a private butler, and you got like these DJ stations. It was very nice. Very different to the South African clubs, I would say. I've been to some elite clubs in Johannesburg and Cape Town. Like in Cape Town, I've been to Coco's. I'm not sure if you know about Coco's. So there you pay the entrance fee, and then you still got to buy the full bottles, etc. So the if I had to compare, here, you're getting safety, security, and yeah, you're not getting a bang for your buck. But in South Africa, it's you don't you get the wild partying, people walking around really, really sloshed out of their minds. You very rarely would find that here in Dubai. And I think because of the strictness of the municipalities and the police, etc., people don't really let their hair down, you know.
So, what are the main differences in the types of venues, such as the clubs, bars, lounges, and entertainment offered in Dubai versus Johannesburg?
So here you get quite a variety. You get, like I mentioned, rock bottom, where most of the places have live bands. So there's also the Irish Village near the airport, where it's like a garden type of venue, and then they have the live bands. It's more like a beer garden, if I may say that. And then you also get like very elite rooftop pool lounges, those kind of things. You get majority of them. They're all international DJs. Music from all genres, and very different to the eclectic Joburg life. The bars and the underground clubs like Crypt and so forth. Very different to Johannesburg, and I quite liked the Maboneng district. I'm not sure if you've been there in
No,
Johannesburg.
no.
Yeah,
Honestly, I hardly go to
yeah.
clubs, so that's probably a blight on my part.
No, you should. You should go visit it. One of my favorite places actually in Johannesburg was Catsy's, and they
Oh,
would have the live band. Yes, in the Firs and Rosebank. So you get some nice clubs, and like we always stuck to the norm. We would, if we know we're going to a club, then we would Uber. We won't generally use our car because we're going to have a glass of wine or something, and yeah, I would say that you choose what where you're comfortable with. Like you get the upscale crowd in Johannesburg, and here as well, you find your niche.
Okay, before I get to my third question, there's actually a comment here. There's actually a question for you if you don't mind.
Yes.
Sure, all right. Okay, it's from Jitin Rishika. Hi, Tammy. Which nightlife do you prefer, Dubai or Johannesburg?
Definitely, hands down, Dubai.
Uh-huh.
I can, to be very honest with you, you can walk into a nightclub not paying anything. You can have a glass of water or a bottle of water, and it will cost you, I think, like under 20 Rand. You're absolutely safe. If you wanting to go there and dance, go
Mm-hmm.
for that purpose or listen to different music from around the world, definitely Dubai. It is so safe. You don't have people hitting on you. You don't have people in your space. I like that respect that the Dubai culture has. And what's nice is, if you're going there to dance, you get people on the dance floor from all walks of life coming there, very,
Mm-hmm.
very respectful. So definitely, hands down, Dubai is my go-to.
All right. How does the cost of a night out in Dubai compare to a night out in Johannesburg in terms of entry fees, drinks, and transportation?
Okay, like I mentioned with the previous message, you can actually, if you're going there for a purpose to dance and just
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the night, you can get away with just your Uber fees and
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're drinking. And it can actually go from one extreme to the next, where you're going to an exclusive bar, you're paying premium.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in South Africa, I know because of a safety aspect and you want a niche crowd, you are going to pay. Like I know if you, like in Catsies, if you are booking the lounge area, you're paying. I think it equates to something like 5,000 Rand. So
Mm-hmm.
you're getting your spot, you're getting your safe space. But you come out of the club and then you faced with reality. You in downtown Joburg, you're on the streets of Joburg. So whereas here is the safety aspect, hands down wins for me. Here, the nightclubs, the drinks are super expensive, really, really, because of the alcohol tax. The drinks are very expensive. So very rarely would you find somebody like really drunk in a nightclub. You would find people sipping on their cocktails and
Mm-hmm.
not really overdoing it. You get some people, the high earners, the high rollers, that yes, they would come there, they'd buy their bottles, etc. So if you're going there for a beer or two, yeah, you fine with that. Yeah, and transportation, there's transportation 24 hours here in Dubai. Yeah, I mean, even in South Africa now, there's the Uber services, the Bolt. We actually got Bolt here, by the way, so
Yeah.
which is a little bit cheaper than Uber.
Yeah.
So yeah, I use Bolt a lot when when I'm lazy to go and look for parking.
Mm-hmm. All
Yeah,
right.
I hope I answered that. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Okay, my final question to you is what safety considerations should tourists be aware of when exploring the nightlife in both cities?
So in Dubai, I would say know where you are, know where you're going to, and always, it's very, especially if you're taking an Uber or public transport rather to a nightclub or to a venue, you get different or the same sort of naming of the buildings. Like if you're living in a holiday apartment, or if you're living in maybe one of the hotel groups, the big chains, know which area you are in and where you're going to. It's very important because you can get lost very quickly. There's like, say if you've got there's one building that I used to live in before was Mayfair. So you get Mayfair Towers, you get Mayfair Residence, and you get Mayfair Heights. So there's, you need to know which is your building, where you're going to. In South Africa, I would say pretty much. I mean, you know your stuff. You know where you are in South Africa. But if you're coming from like a tourist, if you're coming there, also it's pretty safe. You wouldn't generally go splashing out with your money and having your jewelry. South Africa, yes, there's been a little bit of mugging and so forth here and there, but don't tempt the crowd. You're going to a place where it's reality. So, stick to the norms. Don't tempt anybody. That's what I would say.
All I got to say is thanks so much for your time.
You're most welcome. It was lovely chatting to you again. We'll chat next week.
Yes. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.